Tarot for everyone. In this presentation, I'm going to show how anybody who has an interest in tarot can learn how to use it to enhance their lives. I'm Lisa de Saint Croix. I'm a tarot deck creator. I created the Tarot de Saint Croix. These are some of the original paintings behind me. And I'm a tarot teacher and a tarot reader. So what is tarot? Tarot is a system of divination where we bring down guidance from a higher power to use in our everyday lives. I see it as an encyclopedia of the soul. When we have questions or issues that we don't know how to deal with, the tarot can really be helpful. It can give us some guidance. The basic skills that you need is to be able to tap into your intuition and to trust your inner wisdom. Once you can do that, you can really read tarot quite easily. So the first thing you need to do is to find a deck that really resonates with you. Perhaps you already have one, and that's wonderful. And if you don't, I suggest finding a deck where you really like the imagery in the deck, where you like the pictures, and they tell a story and speak to you. I like to charge my deck by putting it under the moonlight or in sunshine, by taking it out of the box and wrapping it in silk or putting it in a bag. Sometimes I put a crystal on top of it or smudge it. Whatever you do, treat it like a ritual object, because it is. It's here to connect us with the divine, and we should treat it with great respect. Tarot is very mysterious. Some people don't really know where it came from. Others think, well, they found the oldest deck in northern Italy in Milan, which dates back to 1425, so that's it. But other people think that it comes from a far older body of knowledge. Whatever, it's very mysterious, and it's a wonderful tool to help us and enhance our journey in life. So the tarot is divided into two arcanas. There's the major arcana, which is the journey of the soul. It takes us through various archetypes. The archetypes are different personalities that we embody at different types in our life. Then there's the minor arcana, which consists of 4 suits. There's the cups that relates to water, and that's the emotional realm. It's our relationships. There's the pentacles, which is the physical realm. It's money, your home, your body, objects. Sometimes it can be things that you create. There's the swords, which is the intellect and the mind. It's ideas. It relates to the air element. And then there are wands. Wands is the more etheric element. It's spirit, it's life force, it's energy, it's passion. So within those 4 suits, there are also the court cards. And the court cards relate to different people. There's the pages, which are very young and youthful. They're the knights that are on a quest. The queens, which are the mastery of that suit, feminine mastery of that suit, and the kings that are the masculine mastery of that suit. So I'm actually going to go through the different cards and explain the meaning very simply, quickly to you. But before that, I want to just tell you about a kind of an easy technique how to learn tarot. So once you have your deck, I suggest that you pull a daily card. You know, early in the morning when you rise, shuffle your deck and put an intention into it. It's always good to put an intention. And a basic intention would be, give me some information on my day today. So once you've shuffled, you pull a card randomly and just look at it with a soft gaze. You don't have to understand the meaning. Just look at it and get a bodily sensation of it. And then put it in a place like an altar if you have one, prop it against a vase of flowers. Just put it somewhere where it might be visible at different points in your day. Then later on, at the end of the day, come back to it and look at the card again and see how it makes you feel. Is there some kind of synchronicity that happened? Does it, is there an image in there that perhaps you saw, or you don't even really have to know the meaning. But that is a good time to actually go and seek out the meanings if you don't know them. Most decks come with something called a little white book. My deck actually has a little colored book, and you can see that they're the colored pictures, and then there's a meaning above it. There's the aces and then the meanings. So look at the meaning and think about it. Think, how did this correlate with my day today? Were there coincidences that happened? Does it make any sense? And I would suggest keeping a journal and jotting down when there's something that really draws your attention. You could possibly just write the card each day and just a little sentence or two to say, oh yes, I experienced this, and that's, it lined up with my day. So if you do that, you can easily go through the whole deck in 3 months. If you pull in the cards randomly, it probably will take longer than that. You could also just go through them one at a time without shuffling it. Just, beginning with the first card and just seeing how that related. So that's just an easy, quick way to learn the tarot without having to put too much time or effort into it. So I'm going to go through my deck and talk about the basic meanings of the cards. So here we go. As I said, the major arcana is seen as the journey of the soul. So all these cards are very soulful. And when you get them in a reading, they're very meaningful. They carry more power than the minor arcana. So it begins with the Fool. So the Fool is very playful. He's spontaneous and he takes risks. Here you see a fool who's making a shadow puppet on the wall. So it's really about seeing fear as an illusion. The fool doesn't have much fear. He just kind of goes on his way. There's a path behind him leading to a little boat. So that's the beginning of the journey. The second card is the Magician. The Magician is the manifester, the one who uses tools to create something on the earthly plane. And you can see here I put the wands, the pentacles, the cups and the swords. And so he is using mind, body, spirit and emotions to create what he needs in the world. The High Priestess. A lot of tarot readers really identify with this card because the High Priestess is the initiator. She is the one, she or he, who brings a numinous experience to others. So here you see Isis, and she is actually holding the deck. That's the back of my deck, and she's holding that card. Next we have the Empress. The Empress is the mother figure. She's loving, she's abundant, she's very aesthetic, she's very nurturing. Then we have the Emperor. Here we have a Roman emperor, and he's built this aqueduct to bring water to his people. And he has a plan, an architectural plan in his hands. So the emperor is the one who can plan, organize, take action, often seen as a father figure. It's really being in a leadership role. Next we have the Hierophant. The Hierophant is the spiritual authority. Here I have the Dalai Lama and the Buddha behind him. So I have both the teacher and the teacher's teacher. The Lovers. The Lovers is really about union. It's about two forces coming together to create something bigger than themselves. The Chariot. The Chariot is about focusing on your goals, keeping balance, and moving forward. It's a very successful card. You are able to achieve what you desire. In my strength card, I have a woman and a lion looking eye to eye. It's really about meeting your challenges head on, without power over or victimhood. It's just strength is really about the ability to confront what's difficult for you with a clear vision. The Hermit. I painted a curandera from northern New Mexico. She's just come out of a cave. Perhaps she's been on a vision quest. The Hermit is about taking time apart, some time to yourself, to really look within. And once you do that, you probably come to some place of inner wisdom, which you are then able to share with others. The Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is a very fortunate card. It's really about the cycles of our life. Sometimes we dive deep into the ocean of feeling. Sometimes we rise up, bringing our gifts into the world. Justice. Justice is the card of balance. Every action has a reaction. So it's important to look at what we do and to think about the consequences of what our actions are. The Hanged Man. The Hanged Man seems kind of scary, but it isn't. It's a very spiritual card, actually. It's about surrender. Surrender and seeing things from a different point of view. Here, this hangman actually is in the yoga tree position. And there's a full moon behind his head and a starburst on his heart and a new moon on his forehead. It's really about tapping into some kind of divine force that will help us see things in a different way. This card, Death, is probably the reason a lot of people are afraid of tarot. But I've actually painted a happy skeleton dancing with the key in his or her hand, because once we finish something, there's a mystery to be unlocked on the other side. So death is really about an ending that needs to happen. It doesn't have to be a physical death. It can just be the completion of something. Temperance. Temperance is known as the art card sometimes. It's really about using different elements to create something new. So here you're seeing a woman pouring wine and water over a flame, and in the steam, an angel. There's a vision of an angel. So it's really about mixing things to create something new. The Devil. The Devil is also a card that people are really afraid of, but actually it's a wonderful teaching card. If you look here, the shadow is actually the Buddha. See, there's two Buddhas. So if we are able to sit with our shadow and really look at what our shadow does in our life, we are then able to stand up and release it. And it can be really a great teaching card. The Tower. The Tower is about old paradigms crumbling away, an illumination of the recognition of what doesn't work for us anymore, and then a release. So even though it's a card of destruction, and actually I have Shiva, the Hindu god of destruction, sitting in the tower, even though it's a card of destruction, there are also building blocks at the bottom that help us create something new. The Star. The Star is a card of hope. It's a card of wishes granted. It's a card of, it comes after the Tower, so there's really a new feeling of possibility. The Moon. The Moon is a card of illusion, deception, but also a card of going deep into our emotions to find out what's at the bottom of them. The Sun is a wonderful card of joy and success and enthusiasm, how we shine our light in the world. Judgment. This is inside this cathedral in Siena. And there are three figures. This is actually a panel on the floor. But there's a woman here, there's a child dancing in the beam of light, and there's a man praying to the archangels. What judgment really is a wake-up call to what we believe in, and to realize that what we believe, we receive. And the last card in the major arcana is the world. And the world is the coming together of all the different parts of ourselves to create a holistic, complete part. So those are the major arcana. Then I'm going to go on to the minor arcana. So just a little note, again, I talked about the different suits. So when you read these cards, this is kind of an easy way to understand them. Anytime you get a cup, you know that it's your emotions or relationship. Anytime you get a sword, it's thoughts, ideas, mental activity. Pentacles, the physical realm, your home, your body, your finances. And wands, magic and spirit and life force and energy. And then we'll go through the numbers. So all the ones begin with the potential, like something, because they're called aces. And here are the 4 aces. So just like in the playing cards, aces are both number 1, but they're also the highest cards. So in tarot, aces show a potential that will lead you to the fullest outcome of that suit. So we have Ace of Cups, which will lead you to joy, happiness. There's Ace of Pentacles, just like a seed that grows to a giant sunflower quickly. It's physical. It's something that will manifest in the physical realm. Swords, an idea that will go all the way to fruition. And wands, the wands you can see have flowers on it and this flame energy, yud, life. So then all the twos are about partnership, they're about balance, and sometimes about decision. So the 2 of Cups is relationship. It's often called the love card. The 2 of Pentacles, this is about being grounded and reaching for what we want. The 2 of Swords is about looking within so we can make a decision. And the 2 of Pentacles, it's about taking care of our own garden and then being able to put it out into the world. So I didn't say this before, but all these minor arcana cards relate to the major arcanas too. So the aces, or number 1, relate to the magician, which is number 1 in the major arcana. So that's manifestation. And 2 relates to the high priestess, which is initiation. And then the 3s relate to the empress. So here we have, and the 3s are about companionship, community, guidance. So here we have in the 3 of Cups, we have 3 people playing tarot game, and they're sharing stories, emotional stories, bonding. The 3 of Swords is a heartbreak card, but there's also healing and forgiveness in it. The 3 of Pentacles is about bringing your skill, sometimes combining your skill sets. Sometimes it can be other people that help you with that. And then the 3 of Wands, it is you're on your way, you're having guidance from the spiritual world. So the 4s relate to the Emperor, and they're really about structure, they're about boundaries, they're about planning, organizing. The 4 of Cups, this man has maybe had 3 beers and he doesn't want his last beer. He can discern when he's had enough. The Four of Pentacles, you see a little girl building a sandcastle. She knows what her realm is. She's happy playing on her own. She's creating sandcastle. She's creating her realm. The Four of Swords is taking a rest from all those poking ideas or busy mind. Here's a woman meditating. She has a strong aura around her that's protecting her from those little piercing thoughts. And the Four of Wands is, there's a woman, this is actually Epona. She's a Celtic goddess. There's the stone circle up here in the full moon. She's come to a crossroads. She's deciding which way she wants to go, what spiritual path intrigues her. Then the fives. The fives relate to the Hierophants, so it's a spiritual lesson. And the fives are difficult cards. They're halfway through the numbered cards, so there's this tension coming from both sides. But they're great teachers. So here we have the Five of Cups. There's a woman grieving over what has been lost. There are 3 cups that have spilt. But up ahead, if she crosses over that little bridge there, there's still 2 cups standing. So it's a card about really feeling our emotions fully before we move on to the next place. Five of Pentacles. This is a Santa Fe scene that I see frequently. These day laborers stand under this magnificent Guadalupe statue because even though they're in financial need, they have hope. So there's the tension, that there's the meeting of those 2 things. Then the Five of Swords. What we have here is difficult family dynamics. Little boy perhaps did something naughty like chop the flowers off with his sword. His father comes home and yells at him, and his mother passively sends a couple of swords out to the father. So it's really about, how we relate to others. We have to respect other people's point of view, and we have to think about the consequences of what we're going to do. Then the Five of Wands. This is a group of activists, so we can use our ideals and our beliefs to change the world. Then all the sixes are about expansion. They relate to the lovers. So, when 2 lovers come together, there's this really expansive feeling. And it's very creative. Sometimes a child comes out of that union, a love affair. You feel so much bigger than yourself. So all these cards are about, giving, generosity, and receiving too. So here I have the Five of Cups. You see a little girl here. She's having a tea party for her toys, and she's giving them all exactly what they desire. It's a very generous giving card. Six of Pentacles. This is giving and receiving in the physical form. The Six of Swords. So here there's a boat. There's a figurehead on the boat in the form of an angel, but then there's a man who's greeting this bright future. He's coming out of the dark dungeon of his mind, perhaps depression, moving towards a golden outcome. And then the Six of Wands. This is about inspiring others. This is the goddess Bridget in the middle, and she's lighting the candle of this old woman, the man, and the child. She's inspiring them. So then we have the sevens. So the sevens relate to the Chariot. So the Chariot is about focusing on our goals, moving towards what we want, and there's a successful outcome. So the cups, these are teacups, and they have tea leaves, and they have all the desire, different desires. The message in this is actually to focus on one at a time, and then you're able to achieve your desires. And similar card is the the Seven of Pentacles. Here, a young woman dressed in a leopard's outfit is reaching for these bubbles, which have pentacles on it. And she does have talons, so if she goes crazy and just grabs for them, she'll probably burst the bubbles, but if she gently cradles them, she's able to bring that towards her. So, even though sevens are successful, there is some care. You do need to stay balanced and take care with that. The Seven of Swords, we have a trickster here. He's balancing 5 swords, reaching for 2 more to add to the pile. That's the mental realm. So we need to balance our thoughts. We can't keep going after another thought. We have to look at what we're thinking about, really get clear-headed. 7 of Wands. This is a card of courage. It's about standing up for what you believe in and moving forward with your beliefs. And then we have 8s. So the 8s, think of the figure 8 as like it's called a lemon skate. It's the infinity sign. It's really about flow. It relates to the strength card. Strength, courage is really about the heart. I used nature in these cards. So here we have the 8 of Cups. So water flows into one pool and then into the next pool and then into the next pool. And the message is to really fully immerse yourself in each feeling, in each emotion. See what it brings you, and then you're able to flow on to the next place. The 8 of Pentacles. There's a little beaver. This is the beaver here, and he's built his lodge out of sticks. He's almost complete. So the 8s are very close to the end of that suit. So you're well on your way. You just need to focus and have strength to get to the end. The 8 of Swords. You see a raven kind of standing in between, a little bit trapped in these swords. But ravens are very intelligent. A raven will easily be able to figure out that there's a larger opening and be able to escape. This is about mindsets that trap us and how we can actually easily move out of that. And then the 8 of Wands, this is a card of inspiration. The 8 penstemon stalks with hummingbirds and bees. Inspiration really is pollinating other people's ideas. 9s. So the 9s relate to the Hermit. So they're really about introspection, about what we've learned, what we can achieve. So 9 of Cups, this is called the wish card. This is actually a really lucky card to get. When you get it, you can make a wish and it will be granted to you. So here a woman lies and she has a cup and the angels are pouring her wishes into the cup. Then the 9 of Pentacles, this woman is gathering sunflowers. She has a falcon on her shoulder. She's done the hard work of growing these beautiful flowers and now she's harvesting them. 9 of Swords. This woman is woken up in the middle of the night and she's looking up in the wall and there are these, what appears to be 9 swords in the wall, but actually it's the light coming in through the blinds, casting a light on the wall. So in the morning when she wakes up, that won't be there anymore. So it's really about realizing what our mind does to us, and sometimes it's an illusion. Worry is an illusion. It's not really real. And you'll be able to move on from that. And then we have the 9 of Wands, and she does look a little bit like my hermit. She's gone through many experiences. She's come down from the etheric world. She's traveled through lightning and growth and fire, and she's almost at the end of her path. She's achieved great wisdom from the many experiences she's had. And then 10s. 10s relate to the Wheel of Fortune. So they're really fortunate cards. They're coming to the end of the suit, but they also inspire a new beginning because there's a lot of numerology in tarot. So 10, 1 plus 0 is 1. So it comes back to the magician, the manifester. So the 10 of Cups is a card of celebration, joy, coming together with loved ones. I I decided to paint physical ecstasy, ecstatic dances for my Ten of Pentacles. It can also be wealth. The Ten of Swords. This card is often quite a difficult card. I chose to show 5 swords in the back of this one woman, and then 5 lifting up the same woman. So this actually could be the reflection. So the idea is what doesn't kill us makes us stronger. It's the lessons that we've learned in life. There's a new moon up here, so something new can come from our trials and challenges. And then the Ten of Wands. This comes from a old lithograph from the medieval times. It's called the Spiritual Pilgrim, and you can see on the back there are 10 wands. Maybe this pilgrim has been really burdened down by too many beliefs, and now the spiritual pilgrim is reaching towards a new moon, a new way of being, holding just one very simple wand. So there are 9 in the back, and he's holding one simple wand. So it's about moving forward with our beliefs. So those are all the numbered cards in the Minor Arcana. And now I'm going to go through the court cards. So I just briefly talked about them before, and I'll say it again. So the pages are very youthful, they're young, they could relate to young people in your life, even children or young adults. If you get it and you're doing a reading about yourself, it taps into that younger part of yourself. So the cups would be this young, innocent, pure feeling person. The Page of Pentacles, this is a photographer. It's about being sort of an apprentice, learning your trade, learning how to do new things. And then the Page of Swords, he's standing against a blackboard, and he's creating the equation for the golden mean. So this is a student. So when you pull this card, it could mean that you're beginning a new field of study. It could mean an actual student or young person that you know that's learning new things, being open to new ideas. Page of Wands. This is a young spiritual seeker. He is up in a tree creating mushroom clouds, psilocybin mushrooms. He's opening his mind to new experiences, new spiritual experiences. He is very open to, he doesn't have dogmatic, old kind of rigid spiritual beliefs. He's open to whatever comes to him. The Knights are all on a quest, so they've perhaps young adults, a little bit older than the pages, very active in the world. The Page of Cups is a romantic person, questing for love, questing for emotional fulfillment. The Knight of Pentacles is a very virile person, really able to create in the world, grow a garden, create projects, build a house. The Knight of Swords is decisive, able to cut through the cloudiness, the confused thinking, and let the sun come out. And then the Knight of Wands. This is actually an inner spiritual quest. It's about questing within ourselves for meaning, for spiritual experience. The Queens. The Queen of Cups is able to feel all emotions and let them flow through her. She's very loving and very giving, and she's very compassionate and empathetic. The Queen of Pentacles, this is Queen Sheba. She's on a golden palanquin. She's been carried by 2 virile young men. She's got fruit, flowers, and herb around her. She's really abundant. She enjoys all the physical parts of life. She's wealthy. She's able to share her bounty with others. The Queen of Swords. She's decisive and wise. This is Queen Athena. Goddess Athena. And then the Queen of Wands. She's a magical medicine woman. She's got her ally behind her, a drum and her wand. She is able to heal others through her magical abilities. And finally, we have the four kings. So the King of Cups is a loving king. He rules through his emotions. He's kind, compassionate. He's able to feel for others. He can be melancholic at times. He can be in his cups. But he's basically very open-hearted. The King of Pentacles, this is King Solomon, and Queen Sheba's come to visit him, bringing him gifts. King Solomon was very wealthy, and that's what this card is about. It's about really being able to create on the physical plane to fulfill all our desires and our needs. The King of Swords, this is King Arthur, and he's being handed the sword by the Lady of the Lake. And he's very wise. He uses his mind. He's thoughtful. He's a good ruler, a good organizer and planner. And then we have, for the King of Wands, I did Hermes Trismegistus, and he's able to combine heaven and earth to bring down the heavens to earth, and he's a healer as well. So those are all the cards. And so now I'm going to talk about the spread behind me. And this is a spread that anybody can do. It's actually kind of half a Celtic cross, which is a very popular spread that many tarot readers use. But this is half of that. It's simpler, but it does really carry a message, and you'll be able to find answers to whatever issues you have. So the central position, so what I would suggest first of all is when you do the spread, come with a question, come with an issue. I wouldn't just do spreads all the time. It's a good way to learn, but I would really respect a spread and really come to it when you need to get some information. So you would shuffle your card and put your intention in and say something like, I'm going to do it for myself. So I asked, how can I best share tarot with my audience? And so you put 5 cards down, face down, and then I'll read them as they are. So the central card is called the signifier. This is you in the situation. So this is me trying to bring my message out to an audience, and I am the Queen of Wands. So I am, in this spread, a magical medicine woman that's able to bring healing and wisdom to others. I have my ally behind me, a mountain lion, so I take some courage to do this, belief in myself. I have my tools. My tools in this case are the tarot deck and the video equipment. And I am standing in my power because I'm a queen. So then the next card in the spread is what's below. This represents the unconscious. This is something that maybe we're not so aware of, but it's very strong and it pushes us and it really operates for our own best interest. So here I pull the Ace of Pentacles. So deep down, I have really a desire to grow, to plant a seed in others, in you, my audience, and to see it flourish. I really want to bring the physical tool of the tarot to others to help them connect with the divine and to hear messages. So that's underneath for me. Then in this position, this is the release position. So this is the Fool. So I need to let go of that young part of myself that's unsure and a little bit risky and, just jumping into things without thinking about it. Also let go of my fears and to continue on my path. So that position is release. It's what you let go of. Occasionally, when I pull a really positive card in that position, and I think to myself, I don't really want to let that go because I like that. It could be putting that energy out into the world, releasing that energy into the world. So you can see it in that way as well. But often it means what you need to let go of. So in my reading today, it's letting go of that sort of crazy fool being all over the place. And, I planned this, I organized it. I'm not trying not to be a fool. So up here, this is what's up for you. This is what's on your mind. It's a conscious position. And I picked the Magician. So this is what's up for me. I'm trying to bring my cards out into the world. Rumi is was the inspiration for this card, and he brought the divine down and gave it out to others in the form of his poetry. And I'm trying to do something similar by bringing my message and giving it out to the world. So that's what's up for me today. And then in this position is the world, and that's what I'll receive. So that's a position of receiving. So I hope to receive completeness. I hope to bring a message to the world. I hope to use all the different elements. I have used all the different elements through tarot because we have air, water, fire, and earth represented in the minor arcana. So and those are seen in the world. She's standing on the earth, 1 foot in the water. She's got her head in the cosmos. She's got the sun behind her, the moon on her breasts, and the sun also shining from her womb. So that's what I hope. I hope that I have brought a message to all of you that are watching, and that this will be a sort of a little complete lesson in itself. So I am going to put my website in below. So if you'd like to go to my website and look at my decks, I have 2 other decks that I created, a goddess deck, invoking the goddess oracle in action, and another divination deck called the de Saint Croix Lenormand, which is about a 250-year-old deck. So you can go to my website and see those decks. And also I have readings. I offer readings through Skype, email, in person at some point. So again, just to reiterate, everyone can read tarot. You just need to trust your inner wisdom. You need to trust your gut feeling, your intuition. Really look at the imagery on the card. Tell a story about it. You can learn, as I described, the 4 suits, the different meanings behind the aces, the 2s, the 3s, 4s, 5s, so on. But really the biggest thing is to open yourself to divine messages that come down, and to be able to use that in your life to guide yourself and others and bring messages. So thank you very much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure to go through the tarot with you, and I hope that you found this helpful. Blessings.